Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So we have a new manga to talk about today. And honestly, this one I wanted to talk about it, but I actually didn't know that it's getting an anime adaptation. Like coming out this year, real soon actually. So like I'm extra hyped for this one. I've been loving it. I'm currently not up to date. I'm just somewhere close to the middle of it. So yeah, I have a lot more reading to do. But I can talk about the general story and what it's about and the characters and their powers and stuff. So it's a fun one. This one is a very nice kind of dark fantasy action. It's written by Kei Urana. It has this kind of graffiti like art, which is funny because in the story there's a town called like not called that, but it's like a town filled with like art and graffiti. It's like a city on the ground. So it's like crazy. I'm jumping ahead of myself. So let's talk about Gachiakuta. It's a it's a series that is still ongoing, fairly new, just like I think maybe 2 or 3 years. So it's not very old. So if you're looking for a fun thing to read, and if you don't care too much for spoilers, because me, I'm honestly thinking if I should continue reading it now that I know that now I've seen the trailer that the anime is dropping. But anyway, no, before they will reach where I am in the manga, it will take a minute, take a couple years. So I might just continue reading it. So yeah, let's not waste any more time. This intro is already long enough. Let's talk about Gachiakuta. So the general story is we follow the protagonist, Rudo. He's an orphan, he's raised by his adoptive father, Lect. You know, he lives in a society that is divided by castes, the privileged and the slums below. You know, it's like a floating city, but then, I like how they talk about this because the story actually it talks about some very deep themes, some things that are real in our own world today. Caste systems, not like caste systems, but yeah, there are still places that practice that, but like how we separate the rich from the poor. You understand? So like up there, on the floating city, the slum, the poor people, they're the ones that handle the trash. They are the smelly, dirty people. Like literally, they handle the trash. So then they send it down to earth, down to the ground. So that's how it's divided. That's the split. So those in the slums, they are surrounded by the waste and discarded items. So they use those items to them for their own use. If you see something you can use, you use it. They learn to be, they learn how to manage, while the rich, they see them as, of course, filth. Rudo, he has a deep appreciation for trash. He doesn't believe that even when it's broken or thrown away, that like objects don't have any value. He believes that they still use for them and they still have value. So one day, Rudo, he's falsely accused of killing his adoptive father, Lect, as he's just coming back home from seeing his crush, like the girl he likes, and then he sees his adoptive dad, dead on the floor. So he's framed and then he's cast into the ground, the unknown cast, because at that point he doesn't know. He thinks it's like just you're being cast into the abyss and you're just going to die there. And, he now discovers on the ground that there's a strange world on the ground. It's filled with monsters made of trash called aberrant beasts. And honestly, this addition, like this, in a time where anime is filled with a lot of things, a lot of stories that we call repetitive, like, my disdain. If you watch this channel, my disdain for shows like Travel to Another World or this and that or Transported, like Isekai and stuff. This manga is a very fresh and different take on the genre, on a different genre of anime. Like I love how, it's through bonds with things that other people discard, bonds with things that people will look at you and be like, yo, honestly, in order for you to get your powers, you have to be extremely clingy to your object. You understand? Like maybe you love this phone, you don't want to let it go, even when the screen has cracked, even when everything. Honestly, now I think about it, if we had these powers in our world, yeah, that would be one of the powers, I'm sure, of somebody. Like that phone is years old, but you still don't want to let it go. Then you can turn the phone into a weapon and fight. You understand that kind of thing? So it's very creative and I love it. So then that's when he now encounters a group they're called the janitors. Janitors, cleaners. They are warriors who wield special weapons. The weapons are called Jinky. They are imbued with emotions and memories. So if you cherish an item long for years, build a bond with it, genuine love, never let it go, always take care of it and all that, eventually over time, hard work and perseverance is going to develop into a Jinky, and then you can use it to fight. You can use it for it depends on what its power is. So it's a very like for real. I love how different it is. Like literally trash. Like things that people will be like, yo, that scissors is old. And you never want to let that scissors go. Then it becomes suddenly now you can turn it into a giant scissors and fight. That's literally one of the powers of some of the main cast. It's crazy. So the series is that's the general story. So throughout the manga, sorry, you meet different characters. You see more of the world. You see the people. You get to know more about the people that are framing Rudo and what really happened. You know. Then we see the headquarters of the janitors. You can call them janitors or cleaners. So this is where the story takes place. Honestly, I remember the beginning of this story where they feed Rudo because they hate the sky dwellers now. You throw your trash on the ground and it pollutes the world. There are literally places on the ground that you cannot enter because there are too many trash beasts, and even the air there is polluted and stuff. You cannot enter that side without a mask. That's why the first time we see the person that saves Rudo from the first trash beast he encounters, he's wearing a mask because that place you're not supposed to be there, and the air starts burning Rudo's lungs. You're not supposed to be there without a mask. You understand? So it's fun to see, like, so the a lot of the ground dwellers, they hate surface dwellers. Like if you survive the fall, they are going to sell you for pieces. Like you are fucked, you are cooked. Rudo is very lucky. So Rudo, what makes Rudo special is that normally you have your own. Normally, like your Jinky is only one power. You understand? Like maybe if you owns an umbrella, if it's a scissors, if it's whatever it is, if it's staff, it's just that thing. But Rudo, his own is special because he has these gloves. These gloves his adopted father that died gave him because he has scars on his hands, so people will stop making fun of him and all that. So he would stop being insecure of it. So he wears them all the time. So they are like, they're worn out and look ugly and stuff because they are old. So, but he doesn't let them go. So eventually, and he holds them dear to his heart, and eventually they become a Jinky. And its power is that like he can pull out uh the potential from other trash around him. So unlike other people's powers are like it's their own Jinky that they use to fight. Like the gloves themselves cannot turn into anything, but they can turn other things to something. And now that I think about it, it reminds me of, remember Guilty Crown? That's another one I'm going to do a video on soon. Remember the main guy? Yeah, he could pull out the powers from other people's chests, other students. So like he himself didn't have any powers, but he's can pull out the powers from other people chest. So now I think it reminds me of that. Yeah, it can be very strong and very weak. So it makes him that he has to start carrying trash around like in a bag because he learns that that means if he's not around trash or anything, he's messed up because he cannot transform anything and he's a sitting duck. He's a liability. So he has to carry trash around. So I like how they did that. He makes it that he has to think smart. Because if you use this Jinky too much, like it can break, it can scatter. So if you run out of trash in a firefight, in a fight, it means you're going to be messed up. So it means he has to know how he uses them. He has to be methodical. He has to plan. He has to think and use them wisely. So it doesn't make him too powerful, but he is powerful. So he's learning a lot and he's in training. So I like that addition. So yeah, now let's talk about some of the characters, the main cast of the Cleaners Association. So some other notable members of the Cleaners are, we have Engine. Engine is the person that saves him from that trash beast when he first lands on the ground. He's the charismatic, energetic kind of leader. He's not the leader of the Cleaners, but I guess we could call him like kind of a second in command. He uses his umbrella as his Jinky, very powerful. It's like a cannon sometimes. So he's very fun, but can be level-headed, a very good tactician and a good leader. Next we have Zanka Nijiku. He's a master combatant. He was recruited by Engine personally. He wields the lovely assist staff. It's a staff that is his vital instrument. He comes from a noble family actually, with ties to the Hell Guards. They're a group combating the criminal givers. Honestly, that whole part, I have no idea what that is, because I've not actually reached that side in the manga. So I'll probably do a follow-up video about this, so I can give you a deeper dive into the story, but this is just a basic outline for you to know what you're getting into with Gachiamaku. Yo, did I just butcher that name, bro? Gachiakuta. I don't know, the name always confuses me at first. So next we have Rio Reaper. She's an energetic, outgoing member. She's like the wild card. She uses the Ripper. It's a pair of extendable scissors. They turn into a giant scissors that she uses with her legs. The way she twirls, the way she spins and moves is crazy. She's very athletic and a very good fighter. She kind of takes care of, I don't think the way she likes him is like anything platonic, it's just like a friend, she cares for him. So it's fun seeing their bond. Then we have Eshia Stilza. She's the receptionist at the Cleaners headquarters. Her vital instrument are her eyes. It's a pair of glasses. They allow her to assess the capabilities of givers and detect incoming attacks, so she can kind of see what's up and anything. So very powerful eyes. So when she first looks at Rudy, actually, she kind of sees something crazy that actually makes her scared. So it reminds me of that woman from Solo Leveling. I don't know if you guys are watching Solo Leveling, that looked at Sun Jin-woo and was traumatized. So it's crazy. Next we have Aka Corvus. He is the leader of the Cleaners. He oversees the organization's operations. He likes to move around. So when Rudy first come, it takes him a while to even be officially admitted into the Cleaners HQ or organization, because Corvus wasn't around, went somewhere. So he's the kind of eccentric but can be serious when he needs to kind of character, Then we have Shikage. He's responsible for protecting the Cleaners headquarters. He's always wrapped around a blanket, but only his glowing eyes are visible. He has an eccentric behavior and he talks very dramatically. So these are some of the main cast, but there are many other Cleaners actually from what we've seen, and we'll probably still see more. Then there are still the antagonists. That's part of the people that that framed Rudy. So the story is actually he joins the Cleaners because he wants information of how to get back to the Sky City and get his revenge. Basically, it's a revenge story. Basically, he wants his revenge on the people that framed him. So he's working with the Cleaners until he finds information. Then he will head back to the Sky City. So we're going to see a lot of twists and turns. He'll grow to, because you see him smiling. When they give him sweets, as somebody that been eating trash from a poor background, they give him sweets like he's crazy. He doesn't even know what those are. So you can tell he has been through a lot. So it's fun to see their bond and all that. So the anime is dropping. If you don't want any spoilers, you can just, not really read the manga, just leave them alone and watch the anime first. But the manga, if you want to read it, you are highly advised. The manga is the shit for real. It's nice, very good. The art style is dramatic. It reminds me of a Soul Eater, yeah, and Fire Force. That kind of drawing the main cast. Drawing the main cast with shark teeth. It's very fun. I like that kind of art style. So it's a fun read. You have fun with it. you will enjoy the story and it's still ongoing. So with that, thanks for watching, guys. See you on the next one.